intense animus for WNBA star Caitlin Clark. Earlier this year, when Clark was shattering college basketball records at Iowa, Swoopes trashed Clark as an overhyped gimmick. She claimed Clark was age 25, played 5 or 6 seasons at Iowa.
Yeah, this was kind of ridiculous right here. And this is the older video. Not old, but a couple months back. And me personally, I haven't heard his take on it, so I do want to take the time to go ahead and review this and then a couple other videos he's done before this, getting to the final one a couple days ago. So I'll make sure I get all that content out today, but let's hear what he has to say.
And shot the ball 40 times per game. It was all bad, uninformed information. When questioned whether...
Yes, at the end of the day, we all think Swoopes is the hater. I mean, clearly, some of the things she said about Caitlin are just absolutely ridiculous, uncalled for, and it's just out of character, to be honest.
Her comments were motivated by bigotry. Swoopes claimed black people can't be racist and that she has white friends. Take a listen.
For people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, like, first of all, black people can't be racist, but...
How... This is the part where I don't get, like, how can you say black people can't be racist? Of course, anybody can be racist. If you go to that extent, racist can be on so many different levels. How can you sit here and say that black people can't be racist? That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Come on, man.
Like, that's the farthest thing from my mind. Like, I grew up in a very small West Texas town, predominantly white.
But here's the thing. You saying where you grew up has nothing to do with anything.
My best childhood friend is white. Went to predominantly white. College, won a national championship. Pretty much everyone on the team was white. Like, we're sisters to this day. Like that's not a part of my DNA.
I don't know, man.
Like, that's not part of her DNA. That was Sheryl Swoopes back in February.
This is my thing. I've never, like, that what she's saying, her background has nothing to do with the comments she's made.
When Caitlin Clark was a superstar at Iowa University and taking college basketball by storm and elevating college athletics, women's college basketball, to unprecedented heights. That's what Sheryl Swoopes was saying in February. Now, this week, with the WNBA on a month-long Olympics hiatus, Swoopes has returned to her Caitlin Clark bashing. Clark is the overwhelming favorite to win Rookie of the Year. She remains the biggest star in all of American sports. On Swoopes' Queens of the Court podcast, Swoopes championed Angel Reese as the Rookie of the Year, stated that Clark's Indiana Fever would make the playoffs with or without her, and insinuated...
And this right here doesn't make any sense. Swoopes, like, the Fever are not making the playoffs without Caitlin Clark. I don't know what you're watching. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell's great. Aaliyah Boston's great. But their game has clearly elevated to me. And if you go watch my other channel, I have plenty of videos. Their games ahead of this, early on in the season, look nothing like how they look now. Aaliyah Boston looks completely out of shape at the beginning of the season. She looks way better in shape. She understands that she has to play with Caitlin. She has to run the floor. She has to get open. She has to... There's a lot. She can get open buckets if she plays with Caitlin Clark. How can you sit here and tell me Kelsey Mitchell didn't have a lot of open shots earlier on in the season with all the double teaming from Caitlin Clark? How can you sit here and tell me that Nalissa Smith's game hasn't elevated? All these girls' game hasn't elevated. How can you sit here and tell me that playing with Caitlin Clark? That's where it's like a little frustrating.
The way that a Fever role player was actually more valuable than Clark. Take a listen to this snippet.
I don't know if Chicago's in the playoffs right now without Angel. Right?
Yeah.
Is Indiana,
on,
excuse me, is Indiana in the playoffs right now without Caitlin? I don't
No.
Last
year,
no. Well, but they were close, right? But when you look at the overall team, like the pieces that they have, without question, Indiana has better players than Chicago.
I don't think so.
From top to bottom.
I don't think so.
No doubt about it.
I don't think. It may look like that now, but no way. Chicago, what are you talking about, bro? Come on, man.
I don't know.
So replace Caitlin Clark with Chicago. Put Caitlin over with Chicago and then put Angel Reese with Indiana and watch how that turns out and plays out. Are you crazy?
About that.
Granted, the coaching staff, everything. Are you crazy? Come on, man.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, they had 3 All-Stars. Chicago had 1. But let's also remember Aaliyah Boston was Rookie of the Year last year.
Absolutely. And an All-Star.
Kelsey Mitchell has always been a bucket. Like she can just flat out score the basketball.
Okay.
A player that we don't really talk about, and I think we should, because I thought she was playing exceptionally well before she got hurt. Fag Binley.
Yes.
Then you got Nalissa Smith. And they brought in Katie Lou, who's a shooter. Like, if you go down the roster, player for player,
I feel that.
like, look at Chicago.
Okay.
Kennedy Carter is can't nobody guard her. They just can't. But who
after
else?
that.
Yeah, but who else?
Listen,
Yeah, Mabry. There are a couple people.
Sheryl Swoopes'
Couple people.
hatred of Caitlin Clark. It's rooted in racial idolatry. It's rooted in bigotry.
For sure.
Swoopes is using her racial jealousy and Clark's clout to elevate Sheryl Swoopes.
That's a good way to put it.
It's textbook bigot behavior. Swoopes is masking feelings of inferiority with bigotry. The widely repeated trope that black people can't be racist because black people lack power is laughable. The truth is that many black people believe their bigotry is justified and acceptable given America's history.
It's sad that it even has to get to this race situation, man. I can't believe that we even got it to this point. Has nothing to do with anything. That's the game of the sport. I mean, that's the name of the sport, man. There's going to be whites, there's going to be blacks. That's it. I mean, Latinos, whatever else, Asian. But we can't sit here and go based off race like this. This is ridiculous.
That's what the truth is. Sheryl Swoopes is very comfortable being bigoted because she thinks it's justified. 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, don't you know some girl in my 6th grade class called me a name? I have a right to hate them and be unfair to them.
Bro, we're in 2024. The game's going to evolve with you or without you, Swoopes. As long as Caitlin's there, the game's going to evolve right in front of your eyes.
Sheryl Swoopes, like a lot of American women, like a lot of America, like all of secular America, they don't believe in forgiveness, a tenet of Christianity. Jesus forgave the very people who crucified him. My grandmother, a follower of Christ, forgave the people who attempted to lynch her father.
Talking.
Swoopes can't forgive Caitlin Clark for being a white superstar in a league and sport dominated by black lesbians. Black women have abandoned.
Whoa, I didn't see that coming. Okay, Whitlock.
Dominated by black lesbians.
Whoa.
Black women
You're not lying,
have
though.
abandoned traditional Christianity, and black men have followed them. Those are facts. Too many Americans, black and white, have replaced Christianity with what I call black girl tragic religion. They worship delusional, angry black women. You can see it in all walks of life. Let's go over to politics. Democrat presidential nominee
Whitlock is talking his shit. For real. I can't even lie.
Kamala Harris
Whitlock's talking his
converted
shit.
to the faith 40 years ago when she enrolled at Howard University, a historically black college, and joined the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Ski-wee! Black sorority. Kamala eschewed her Indian and Jamaican heritage,
man.
her Canadian upbringing, to adopt a black identity. It's all lunacy, destroying the foundation of American ideals. The black girl tragic religion avoids common sense, fairness, and facts. It rationalizes illogic and rewards emotion. It twerks, gyrates, and ignores negative outcomes. It baits men into thinking.
Why is he going in like this? Damn.
Acting like women.
He is going
It
in.
believes words are as damaging as sticks and stones. 60 years ago, politician Daniel Patrick Moynihan urged President Johnson and America to invest in empowering the black man and supporting the black nuclear family. Mainstream media and black elites framed the Moynihan report as racist. Lyndon Johnson pivoted to the
I'm in a history class right now. I'm even gonna lie to you.
society and empowered the single black woman. These decisions undermine traditional Christian male leaders and produce this new religion,
100%.
black girl tragic. It's a cult that rejects Jesus and will choose death over deprogramming. That's my fire starter.
Now look,
To elaborate.
me personally, I'm not gonna get into the race situation, man, with this whole thing. My whole thing with this whole situation is, look, Swoopes, I don't know what it is with you, but the internet's going crazy on you. We don't like your attitude towards Caitlyn at all. It looks a little shiesty. It does look racist, and it's a little embarrassing. So I'm hoping we can find a middle ground to this, but right now it's not looking good at all.
This is going to take some time, but I want to start with where I ended in terms of this is a cult that will choose death over deprogramming. I say that, and you've heard me mention this on the show before, and I hope those of you that watch the show regularly, you know, I'm introducing new ideas while referring back to ideas I've expressed before on the show. There's a theme to this show, and I try to make sure that I'm connecting dots and familiarizing you with, again, the Moynihan report, and you've heard me talk about that. You've heard me mention Jim Jones, the cult leader, that convinced a group of predominantly black women to go off into the jungle in Guyana and kill themselves.
Honestly, bro, I feel like I'm in history class. I'm not gonna lie to you. He is going over a whole breakdown.
Mentioned that before, and this is why I'm saying where we're at in American society.
Here we go.
Where we've gone with this black girl tragic religion. They will choose death over deprogramming. And I know how cynical and how perhaps that sounds
That's sad to admit, bro. It really is.
anti-Christian.
That is
Because
sad to
I'm
admit.
saying, like, hey, there's a group of people that are so possessed, so transformed, so immersed in this satanic religion, black girl tragic, that they can't be saved because they would rather die than be deprogrammed. They would rather die than surrender the power that they have acquired through this black girl tragic.
That's a better way to put it. Some of you guys might not understand what he's talking about, but that last part.
Religion. And I say that because I think there were like close to 500 people that went to Guyana, killed themselves, drank the Kool-Aid or were forced the Kool-Aid or followed Jim Jones, a cult leader, Jim Jones, who started out preaching.
We're not going to talk about Jim Jones too much.
Still, embrace the Christian.
All right.
So, homophobic. You're this or that. They've so weaponized their ability.
All right, so he's going on a rant right now. We're not here for that. Pretty much, look, I just wanted to hear Whitlock's take on Swoopes and the whole situation, and going back on Caitlin Clark. He got into deep into the race situation. I'm not here for that. That's not what my channel would be about. I will post this on here. This will go on Game Day Network. It's your boy CEO Conda, man. Look, I don't even want to get into the race topic, man. I really don't. I think Caitlin Clark, wonderful basketball player. She's not the only wonderful white basketball player. She's not the only wonderful player who's not white. I mean, there's plenty of girls who can play basketball who are different races. This has nothing to do with race, and I don't even want it to get into it. And it's sad that Swoopes is taking it into that. So it's sad, man, and that's really what I got to say. I'm going to leave it at that, man. Sub up. I got plenty of content on the way. I'll catch you on the next video, and I'm out.